Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Confessions of the Idiots. Everybody wants to confess, but not everyone wants to hear them. Today, I'm joined by two of my favourite guys in the world. The great, the amazing, my favourite comedy character of all time is Tina Del Twist, and I'm lucky enough today to be joined by the amazing Wes Snelling. Welcome back.
Calm down, Sam.
That was a bit over the top, to be honest, to start with. It was a bit over the top.
I loved it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And my phone spells his name out as he calls Lehmo. It is the amazing Lehmo. Welcome.
Thank you, Sam. Wonderful to be here. Hello, Wes. And does your phone say H or H?
H. I think it says H. I think it's a hard H. I always say H.
Because if you're talking to a grammar Nazi, they'll say H.
One of the worst kind of
One
Nazis.
of the worst kind of Nazis. They will say it should be pronounced H.
Yeah.
However, I did have on my radio show recently a grammar expert from the University of Adelaide.
Full qualified Nazi? Or
No, not a Nazi at all.
Okay. It's good to specify.
Who said, look, some people say H is the way to say it, but he said, given that it is for the letter H,
Yeah.
he goes, he had no issues with people saying H.
I've got no issues with it. Great to bring an expert on that says that. No issues with it.
Question, is it L or L? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I love how long that took you both. Thank you so much.
I loved it. What I'll do is I can edit out that pause
Yeah,
if you
good.
want, or
That'd
we
be
can make
great.
it longer
No,
in the edit
just,
if you
just
want.
edit out the whole thing.
The whole thing. I loved it personally, but
I've been going through this recently, teaching my son the alphabet, where you go working out a way to say, well, it's an A, but it makes the sound ah. And it's a big A. Anyway.
love that. I was just saying before how lazy the person who invented the alphabet got at the end with the W bullshit. It's like another W, I guess, and then whatever it was after that.
Then a double V.
Double V.
A double X, double Y, and a double Z.
And it's pushing it forward going, I've got a good closer, the Z. I've got a good Z or Z? No, Z, isn't it? In Australia?
Z.
Oh, God.
It's just an N on its side.
That's correct. This is the first time I've recorded this podcast in Collingwood, and Wes and I were in Collingwood the other day, Lehmo, and we had a lovely drink. And before we had the drink, I will specify that, we drove around and did laps of Collingwood listening to music so loud. And I haven't cut laps like that in a very long time.
I loved it so much because you drive around, like especially in Fitzroy now, like people just hoon around, drive around, and I'm always on the street.
Yes.
Watching that happen, going,
Yeah.
oh, yuck. And
Yeah.
then we went, let's do it.
Let's do it. We're listening to Titanium. There were so many songs just blasting
Really
out.
loud.
But too loud.
Were you
Like,
listening
way
to?
too
Were
loud.
you singing loudly to WAP, for example?
Of course, that's our brand. That's Wes and my brand, as you can tell. What?
I was just singing Defying Gravity for Wicked really loudly, which probably takes away the coolness a little bit.
Did you ever do that? Did you ever cut laps, Lehmo?
I wasn't really ever a cut lap kind of guy, but I live quite close to Brunswick Street. And what I've noticed in recent times, I've lived in Fitzroy for 12 years, this is happening now. There's the hoonery with the music up loud, and my wife and I are like...
Was it just us? Are you sure it wasn't
Yeah,
just
well, it might have been you.
wet ass?
We are now doing it every night.
Okay.
In an Uber.
Now. What were the show tunes you were singing?
Defying Gravity from Wicked. Yeah, look out for it.
I'll listen out for that.
Next week, Chicago.
But my wife and I are like the old people, you know, do live down the street from the kids going, it's turning into bloody Chapel Street, this place. What's happened to Fitzroy?
But when you're in a country town, though, growing up, like, you know, you grew up in a country town. Well, you grew up in Adelaide, but...
Actually, no, I grew up in Loxton in South Australia.
Right.
We did laps in Loxton.
yeah,
Yes.
loved it.
But there was no one on the streets. There was like a little collection of people out the front of the pizza bar.
Oh, huge.
But the lap of the main street would take probably 2 minutes.
Yeah, we used to do like on Phillip Island. Someone would go, "Do you want to go cruising tonight?" Yeah. And go, "There's no aim. It's just go cruising for a bit." And then as soon as we got our licenses for the first, like when we've finally got our licenses, the first trip everyone on Phillip Island does is to McDonald's.
Oh, of course.
And you just go through the drive-through because it's so cool.
exciting.
It's so exciting. It's huge. In Kyneton, were you ever doing laps? Where's the
Actually, yeah. Well, the first car I had was a Volkswagen Beetle, 66, so good. And I grew up in a caravan park, and my dad let me drive around like when I was 16, 17 to learn how to drive around the park.
Yeah.
And the first thing, we didn't have anything like that in Kyneton, but we had the Karlsruhe Servo, which had a Bay Marie. So
And you love a Bain Marie. If you
Love
don't know,
a
if you don't know
Bain
this
Marie.
about Wes Lehmo,
have no idea. how much I love a Bain Marie.
I remember once Wes and I were going to go bowling once. Remember there was a really shit place we found we were going to go bowling, and then Wes found out there was a Bain Marie out the front.
Lost
in the
my
thing.
shit.
Wes could not believe it.
In fact, is Bain Marie your drag name?
Yes, Bain Marie. Welcome to the stage. I used to go to Flinders Street Station just to get potato cakes from the Bain Marie.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, Karlsruhe Servo, yes, the second that we could, it was like 10 minutes out of Coin. And that's where everyone would go and hang out. Go to the Bain Marie,
So
get a
cool.
potato cake, drive home.
See,
Congregate.
What fun. We used to go from Loxton, we would drive to a place called Yamba, which is on the Victorian border.
I know Yamba, yeah.
And Yamba, the service station was open 24 hours. So we'd go there and get a steak sandwich.
Yeah.
That was our thing. And there'd be all these
Steak
other
sandwich.
hoons from around the Riverland.
Yeah.
Couple of Redmark guys, wouldn't talk to them.
Nah,
Yeah.
not worth my
Couple of
time.
Berry guys, we might have known them.
If they take the last Chico roll, I'm livid.
All right, up to get Chico rolls, steak sandwiches, and Farmers Indian iced coffee.
Don't.
Huge if true.
I love it.
Well, I have found some wonderful online confessions today too. That was one hell of a segue to read to both of you, because I know both of you are amazing at delving out advice to these wonderful people. So I've got four confessions, and the first one comes from Cheryl. Cheryl confesses, "I'm a married woman. Come to think of it."
Does she actually say?
Yeah, come to think of it. That wasn't me just ad-libbing.
This is screaming cheating scandal right
Yeah.
now, but let's see where we end up.
"I did a bad thing, and my poor partner Emmett should possibly never know." So do you think at the moment, Wes, do you think, like Lehmo, this could be a cheating confession? Where do you think it?
I kind of want to go, but I also think that I kind of want it to be like she's shat in the kitchen or something.
Okay, something fun.
Yeah.
Or maybe it could be, or gambling. Could be gambling.
Could be gambling.
maybe.
Yeah, that's another big one.
Yeah, she's going to remortgage the house without Emmett knowing.
Yeah.
To get that last Chico roll.
Emmett's slaving away to pay for her gambling addiction.
Bought his own Bain Marie. Emmett isn't his real name, but I'm well aware of how things work online.
Come to think of it.
Come to think of it.
I mean, not completely aware because she's putting this story on.
Not a good move. So I'm trying my absolute best to discard all incriminating evidence that might lead to us. We both live in a small country town. Emmett and I are in our early 40s and have lived a good life in many respects.
She's
Come to
really
think of it.
making it easy for anyone who wants to find her.
Yeah.
Age profile,
Narrow
small
it down.
country town, troubled marriage.
Very
It's
troubled.
Not called Emmett.
There's all the clues right there.
Yeah.
Emmett even joined the local theatre group when we moved down here. I've got even.
He's gay, she's coming out.
Yeah.
We've seen it on Oprah. It's here now.
The local theatre group, by the way, amazing in Kyneton. I went to see Rent the Musical once in Kyneton, which was absolutely fantastic. And I love a local theatre production. Did you have local theatre in your...
Look, we did. I never went to it because we lived actually 60 kilometres away from Loxton.
Oh,
so we
wow.
were really out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So the closest I ever got was a school production.
Yeah.
That we would,
You'd
be
put
in.
on. You'd drive past real fast, cutting laps, watching bits of the production as you could. Yeah.
Yes.
We've been together for a very long time too, and I'm happy to say that in this time, I've never had eyes for another man. So it's 100% cheating. That's where we're going.
Yeah.
You just know, with all the build-up, all of the shit to build up, that's exactly where it's going. That was until we moved to this small country town, and I met the local baker. You got excited by that?
No, well, my brother's a baker. I'm just trying.
yeah.
I'm just wondering if it's the same.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Imagine
Darren?
that's why I brought you on the podcast.
Yeah.
Is he in Kyneton?
Yes. Yes, he is.
Let's watch out.
And there's a theatre group in Kyneton.
There's a number of Cheryls. Yes.
Oh, wow. Imagine if it said...
And there was definitely a Kyneton theatre company. Yes. Oh, yes. Can you
I
imagine?
won't say his last name, but let's say it rhymes with Melling. Imagine. Oh, no. Who quite took my fancy. Every day I would go in and get our morning loaf. It's a nice thing to do. Nothing suspicious in that. We just like our sandwiches. Not important.
Come to think of it.
Come to think of it.
Nothing sus.
Nothing sus on that. We just like
Just
sandwiches.
sandwich lovers.
Each day I would go in and talk to Rod. There would be a lot of flirting back and forth and gentle romance.
What?
Gentle romance.
What's gentle romance?
I think it's just... I think there's a little bit of... Hey, what's up? I love Long Walk Along the Beaches. I think it's gentle. I think you gently lead them in.
You have a candle, but you don't light it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got a candle.
Yeah.
I'm not going to light it.
So, oh my God, you look. And then you just leave it.
Yeah. Fade out. Fade yourself out. Yeah. One day, however, Rod wasn't there. And so I searched around, only to be disappointed. Perhaps it was his only day off. This is a great sentence, and I don't know where this comes from. Perhaps it was his only day off. A baker's dozen, so to speak.
What?
She's just wedging in the only knowledge she has of bakers.
A baker's dozen.
So to speak.
So what he has maybe he takes every 13th day.
Perhaps.
Off work? Maybe that's where she's headed?
That's how a baker's roster works. Every 13th day off. And as I walked out, I saw some smoke coming from the side, and there was Rod out the back of the bakery having a cigarette.
Oh, I love Rod.
Big smoker. Yeah, you can see because the smoke is wafting.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Is Rod smoking a giant cigar?
So to speak.
Yeah.
He ushered me over as we chatted for a hot minute. I was about to leave, but then, without notice, he leant in and kissed me. I kissed back and was taken aback that the harmless flirting had turned into something much more real. We walked back to the front as I told him that it couldn't happen again. He told me to wait and went inside, got a muffin and gave it to me for free.
Oh, she deserved it.
She deserved it after that kiss, that smoky kiss.
Man, I can't expect that for free.
Yes.
When I went home, I paced back and forth waiting for Emmett, but I didn't tell him and haven't. I know it will go no further with Rod, but it is eating away at me. Not sure if I should just forget about it or come clean to a thing like this.
So
that comes from.
So just to be clear, she's just passed on with this guy.
She's passed on. She's just had a passion. She got a free muffin out of it. Pretty good.
God, look, it would be, and she got a muffin.
She got a free muffin.
She got a free.
Doesn't get better than
All
that.
right, well, good. Yeah, that's nice.
I've had many passions with people and I didn't get a muffin.
I think she would be crazy to mention this.
You think so?
At all.
Yeah.
It's so trivial.
Yeah.
As long as nothing ever does happen again.
Yeah.
Because all it's going to do, she's going to tell him, and then he's going to start going, "Are you telling me the full story?
Yes.
Don't go near that guy again."
It's going to be bigger in his head.
And then
we
it's
can't
gonna-
go for our loaves anymore.
then it's
But we
all
love our
gonna be-
sandwiches.
Yes, they love their sandwiches. What happens to their sandwiches?
But
Have
that's
they got an alternative snack?
they're going to have to go to the subway in the next town.
Ever heard of a salad, Cheryl?
Yeah. Look, it's tricky because I agree. Like, as in, if she brings it up, it's going to cause an issue, especially because they're in a small country town.
Yeah.
Sounds like the only bakery.
People talk.
And it's a very judgy place, you small
Yes,
country town.
I can see it.
Certainly
Like,
is.
especially with Cheryl and Rod. Cheryl and Rod.
Imagine I'm always casting hot. I imagine they look amazing.
Well, you can tell Emmett's a made-up name because it's Cheryl and Rod. Emmett's doesn't kind of fit.
It doesn't fit at all,
there, does it?
It really doesn't.
To the point where I'm like, Cheryl probably suits Rod a bit more.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
Is there there's a famous Emmett in a TV. I'm trying to work out what her favourite TV show is. I feel like there's an Emmett.
There would be in an
Yeah.
Elizabethan
Is that
sort of
that's not
tale,
in
I'm sure.
Arrested Development? Is it? No. What is it?
I don't know. Yeah.
Veep. Veep? No.
Maybe Veep. There's an Emmet, I think. I think there is. Yes.
Anyway,
I mean, let's not get hung up on this.
I'm distracting us, but
On things
Emmett
we don't know.
Definitely sounds made up.
Yeah.
I think, but yeah, the problem is that I don't think she necessarily should go ahead and bring it up, but I do feel like it's not. I don't think she made it clear that it's over.
No.
This is the concern. If she's in a small country town and she sees Rod again and she smells that smoke,
Yeah.
which obviously was part of the draw card by the sounds
Oh,
of it.
absolutely.
Like,
It always is.
The lure of a Winfield Red is hard to resist.
You always say that, Lehmo.
I agree, Wes. I don't believe her
Yeah.
when she says this is all over.
I don't think so.
Do you think
I
the
mean,
acceptance of the muffin was
Look, she's
inferred?
looking around the block for this
Yeah.
guy. She's
Yeah.
throwing in a baker's dozen out of context. She's clearly keen for any sort of connection.
Yeah, I
to the baker.
still think she still wants to give
Yeah.
a wristy at some point. I do.
So do you think she needs to tell Emmett now, or do you think just leave it? Lehmo, you're saying leave it.
I'm saying leave it. Don't tell her. But that is on the condition that this is over.
Yeah, yeah.
With your supplier of your bread.
Loaf.
You're gonna have to find. You have to find
Another
someone.
baker.
Another baker. There's probably two. Usually there are two in any
Yeah.
country town.
You know, so one day she'll be making sourdough herself at home. She'll be kneading. He'll be like, "Why don't you just go down to the baker?"
I can't talk about it.
Can't
do
he
you know what?
smoke so often?
Still, my concern though is that it's not like that. They had a random pash at a bar.
Yeah.
You know, it's like she was. It sounded like it was building up and they were flirting and stuff. And so
Yes.
that's where I go.
Gentle.
Either it's not about Rod at all, and she's got some. You know, why don't you look inward,
Yeah.
Cheryl? That's your
Yeah.
relationship with Emmett. What's going on there that you're looking for Rod?
Why are you looking for Rod?
Yes, you know what I mean. though?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
that's. It's not. She didn't just kind of. They
It's not about Rod.
hooked up one night. It's like, well, they did only hook up once, but she's gone in looking for it.
Yeah, she's gone in looking for it, looking for trouble.
Oh yeah, she's drifted off to sleep on plenty of nights, dreaming of the local baker.
Of the French stick.
Haven't we all been there at
Yes.
some point in our lives? Thinking about that local baker.
I mean,
Yes.
that delicious smell of sourdough and cigarette smoke. It's a
Baker's
it's a
dozen.
heady combination.
So to speak. Well, let's say to Cheryl, don't tell Emmett right now, but maybe have a little bit of self-reflection.
But
Yeah.
cool your jets on the baker
Cool your
relationship,
jets.
and yes, have a look internally.
And maybe an allergies and metaphor, maybe calm them down a little bit as well, because they did not make sense.
But keep in touch, Cheryl.
Oh,
love
yeah,
to know.
love to hear from you again.
Yeah.
Call in if you're free now.
Yes.
We'll wait.
And let me know if the bread's any good.
We'd love to know what's happening.
Confession
6 months' time.
yeah. Confession 2 comes from Joseph. Joseph types, I love nothing more than eating off plates of others in a busy pub.
Oh, God.
Is
Horrified.
Is that the
straight
end
away.
of the confession?
No, it's not.
Oh,
No,
right.
no. You know
Because
there's
I
always
got-
a lot of bullshit in between.
I have to admit, so many times I've been out and I've eaten a meal in a pub, and I've looked at someone else's plate and they've finished, and
Yeah.
I've just looked and gone, "Fuck, I'd love to eat that."
I know.
And look,
Yeah.
and I haven't, unless it's my wife or a really good mate. But I so often I stare and think, could I just?
Are you
Could I
talking
just
about
do
like on someone else's table?
Oh
You
no,
don't know
on,
the
on,
other
chips
on
and
my
bits,
on
or-
my table. If I know someone well enough, I will take it and eat
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
But often I'm looking at other people who I don't know or don't know very well, and just go,
I could have that.
"Fuck, I could have that in a pub."
Is it chips or is it bitten off bits of chicken?
Oh, even like
or-
bits of steak. Or,
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just love to.
I'm with you, Lemo.
Yeah.
I feel you. Yes.
Waste
Yeah.
not, want not.
I can't handle. It's with anything. I can't handle.
Yeah, waste.
Everything has to be empty
Yeah.
before I go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Just and like I don't like I can't. I have to eat everything. I have
Yeah.
to drink everything. The fridge has to be empty.
Yeah.
It might have been a country thing.
Yeah,
we,
maybe.
we couldn't leave the table until the
Yes.
plate was done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, you should tell that
It's
when
like-
you see people getting up at different places on other tables. Go, sit down and wait till you're done.
I can't make my son sit down now. So
I've never paid for a full pub meal and quite like living the thrifty lifestyle. It gives me a great sense of freedom to walk up to an empty plate and just pick up whatever it is, char grilled or otherwise, and pop it in my gob. I've become so good at it too. I know exactly how to do it without getting caught. I'll be having drinks with friends and, while I say I'm going to use the bathroom, I wander off and nose around at the empty plates left behind by the wasteful punters. This was all well and good. I was saving so much money and wasn't eating out with friends at all. Then I started doing it with drinks too. I noticed that if I walked around enough, I could fill up my beer on the go, waltzing around and always coming back with a fresh beer for myself. But of course, I know some of my friends could one day find out. They constantly rib me for not buying meals and eating with them. They constantly have a dig for not buying them a drink and only helping myself. My girlfriend, because he's always come back with a full glass of beer and none for
Yeah.
any. It's like your shout. He
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
back with
yeah.
one beer for the
when
table.
he says they have a dig, I mean,
Yeah.
I suspect it runs a little deeper than that. Surely
Yeah.
the friends are sitting around going, "What the fuck is going on? What's his name again?"
His name is Joseph.
Joseph. Surely they're just going, "What is Joseph's not right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's not paying for drinks and he's coming back with full beers, and he's not paying for meals.
Yeah.
Yet he seems to be.
He's going to the toilet a lot.
He's doing the same pooing as the rest of us. Something's up.
They constantly rib me for not buying meals and eating with them. My girlfriend doesn't even know what I do, but here's the truth. I actually love it. And probably helps me to build my immune system, if anything. Just make
Why?
an
What
excuse
is
to
that?
feel better.
Okay.
I know. I just think the germs of other people, the bacteria.
Well,
I think
is this
things-
pre or post COVID, guys?
I think it's pre-COVID. It's a few
Right.
years ago. This one
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. We hope so. Anyway,
yeah.
It's
Like
really
it's
horrifying.
It's a whole different story. Okay.
Think about all the bacteria I'm eating of other people, slowly building me up to what is commonly known as an Iron Man. It's commonly known as that. Yeah, the Iron Man. Yeah, it's exactly what happened. That's his origin story. He was eating parmas, leftover parmas.
Stealing food off other people's plates.
But it feels like I should come clean to my friends and partner so they understand my reasoning. I think they need to know so they're not always hassling me for not eating with them. Give the guy a break. All right, so that comes from Joseph. Do you think that Joseph should come clean, Wes, to his friends and say...
If he wants to keep his friends, I'd suggest he does not come clean.
Right, okay, sure.
I do. I don't know. I mean, I think. So he's not going to stop. Is this is an addiction?
He's not going to stop. It's an
This
addiction.
is an
It's
addiction.
Yeah,
Because I was
that's
going to
right.
say this is because I imagine you get the reaction from your friends going. Well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure if I told my friends, they'd be like, "Well, Ace," they'd just be like, "Wes, you're not okay." Like, we need to-
Yeah. Or just go,
So
we
you
knew
do-
that.
Yeah,
We kinda knew it.
what's the real issue going on?
Yeah,
here?
what's really
So-
going on here?
Can we buy you a meal?
Yeah.
Is that what you
exactly.
want? Is that what you need? We can buy you a drink.
Are you hungry? He's got some. It's a weird form of kleptomania.
It really is. Yeah. There's something else going on
Yeah,
there
he's
with
got some
Joseph.
issues that he needs
Yeah.
to sort out.
Yeah,
He's not going to
for
sort
sure.
those issues out while he keeps thieving food and seeing himself as the victim.
Yeah. He needs to smooch the local baker, if anything.
I'd be interested though to know if once he did tell his friends, that might actually take away the fun of it.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, he goes out with friends and then they know, and then as soon as he gets help, they're like, "Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
I have to go. I have to do the thing," and then it might take out the actual excitement out of.
Yeah,
doing
maybe
it in
because
the
he does
first
say he
place.
doesn't want to get caught. He knows how not to get caught. So maybe it is a thing about that.
He's also on an inevitable pathway to a punch in the head.
Sure.
When some bloke sees him tipping half a beer
Oh, yeah.
into his
Yes,
beer,
the food's fine.
the food, as long as people have finished their meals,
Yeah.
people are just going to think it's weird.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Do you think he
No,
knows about the
But
etiquette?
if he's stealing beer off people,
Yes.
Someone's
late
gone to
one
the
night in
toilet.
pub, someone's just going to go boink right in the chops.
Yeah.
And that might make him reassess. Why did you get a punch in the... Oh, nothing.
Nothing, no big deal. If you went to the toilet and you came back and someone was eating your food or tipping your beer into, I think you'd have something to say, char grilled or otherwise.
Yeah, good or otherwise.
It's hard to see how you get away with the beer thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to in my late teens. I used to do the school this week stuff, and me and my friend would go to Sydney.
Yep.
And I sound like I did every weekend, like we went once.
Went
but
to Sydney every
for a holiday, yeah. For a holiday, and we would go along King's Cross, which is probably the worst place to do this.
Yeah.
But do that for fun.
Oh.
Oh, and you would just leave little
Go
bits
and
of beer.
it was just a thing, but it wasn't like I don't do it now. I don't do it now.
no.
I let it go once I got to my 20s.
You can't go to
It's
Sydney
fine.
every week
and
now.
it wasn't a big deal. And it was just like stupid kids. It was just like
Yeah,
a fun
yeah.
thing to do.
Yeah.
but I wouldn't have continued it on and do it by myself. Like it was,
Yeah.
it was more like a with your friend. Go, I'll see what we can get away with.
Especially when you're out with friends as well, and you're sneaking off to go and get a drink, and people are doing rounds. And you're
Yeah.
going, I'm fine, thank you.
And what happens if you come back and you've got this big thing of lipstick on the glass? It's like, oh, they haven't washed this properly. I have to take that back.
Yeah.
The drink thing he's got to stop because
Yeah.
you're actually stealing from
Yeah.
other people. So
Yeah.
that's gonna end badly.
Yeah.
For him.
Yeah.
And the food thing's just weird.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
it's
got to
just
grow
weird.
up at some point.
Yeah.
You've got to
Yeah.
become an adult at some point.
Unless
in
he
your life.
gets a
true.
job at a pub as like the
Oh, yeah.
in doing the dishes or whatever,
Yeah.
and so that could feed the fabulous upset. Like he gets
That's
all
true.
when the food comes back
You're gonna have a little
into the
nibble.
kitchen,
He could do it that
he
way.
can have a go.
I'd be less judgmental if he turned this into some sort of reviewing platform.
Yeah,
Reviewing leftovers. I've never
Okay.
seen leftovers reviewed before.
No,
by
I
a
haven't
food
either.
reviewer.
Are they still in good condition after
How-
someone's demolished?
How are the leftovers? I wouldn't mind the food thing if he was utterly shameless about it.
Yeah.
So a group of people are sitting at a table, they've all finished, and he just walks up, "G'day guys, how are you?" And then just starts grabbing food off plates and eating it in front of them. I didn't want to
With
finish
direct
this up.
eye contact.
Direct.
Always
eye contact.
direct eye contact. So do you think Joseph needs to tell his partner and his friends? Do you think he needs to come clean and say something?
I think he needs to change his behaviour.
Yeah, I don't agree.
I think that's a massive behaviour change.
Is not Joseph's issue.
No.
Changing his behaviour is Joseph's issue.
I agree.
Yeah. Just maybe for a bit. See if you like eating full meals.
Try buying your own snacks for a change. See how that works out for you, Joseph.
I think that's great advice because the next confession comes from Nick. Nick writes, so I've had this roommate for like a year now. We're both dudes. Both mature, balanced, responsible mates. Completely secure with ourselves.
Okay, where is this going?
This sounds to me like someone who is not very secure.
No, making a lot of excuses. Because he writes after that, lol, yeah, right. Imagine that's how he wrote it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm putting my own voice into that. So I work as a humble security guard. And this guy works as an administrative counsellor in the major city where we both live. Need I say more?
Actually, yeah, because I have no idea what an administrative counsellor is.
Actually, I'd love that if you could fill us in. Yeah, that'd be great. He's a pretty cool guy. Well, that's hard to say because I piss in his coffee every day.
What?
What?
Is that a euphemism for something?
No.
Like that? No, that's a literal
That's
piss.
literally
did-
pissing.
Mention about wanting Cheryl earlier to shit in the kitchen, but I didn't mean it.
Didn't mean it. I take it all back.
Yes.
So
When
he
you-
literally... He makes him a coffee in the... He's
He's going to explain how he does
Okay,
it,
all
but
right.
yeah. But you know what administrative counsellors are like. They're so busy. God, they're busy. Oh.
They don't even notice when there's piss in their coffee.
He's too busy for that. He's a pretty cool guy. Well, that's hard to say because I piss in his coffee every day. Every day he gets up and lets his coffee brew while he gets ready. And I piss in it every morning when he leaves the room. Just a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Just mucking
Just a
about.
couple of mates hanging
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. The first thing that annoyed me about him was that he would talk endlessly about nothing.
Right.
Every time.
Well,
So yeah.
sorry, you should have said.
Well,
Well, he
he
deserves to have
didn't
his
say
coffee
that.
pissed in there.
We get it now. Talk endlessly about nothing every time we'd had a conversation. Like, no offense, bro, but don't you talk enough at work?
Ooh.
What a horrible thing to say when your housemate comes home. No offense, bro, but do you talk enough at work?
Yeah.
He has very one-sided conversations. He just repeats opinions he heard on whatever banal-ass podcast he's been listening to. Could be a dig at this one, not sure.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Anyway, shout out if you are listening.
Shout out. Love to hear from you.
Hope you're enjoying your piss coffee.
You seem great. Call in. That isn't a huge problem, though. He also has a tendency to think he's a genius when he's actually not. His shoulders were injured from a rock climbing accident. So it was his understanding that he couldn't take the trash out anymore or help with any housework because it might delay his healing. So he doesn't clean or do anything. He makes his coffee with a fresh press, I think he means French press, and lets it sit there in a carafe. He got carafe right, but fresh press he fucked up. The first time I did, I took a bottle and filled it with my own special lemonade, then poured it into the carafe. And I've been doing it every day since then. Is this something I need to tell him about?
Oh, God.
That's a beautiful confession from our good friend Nick. What a great guy Nick is. He seems great.
Yeah, Nick.
Fun to hang out with.
What a wonderful housemate and an excellent communicator.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best way to sort out issues with your
Absolutely.
housemate.
Piss
Just
in a
start
carafe.
pissing in their coffee.
It's always good.
Don't
Don't tell him
about it.
No.
That's the weird thing. It's like he's whinging about his housemate. I'm like, you're the asshole. Like how? Like
Yeah. Did not take his side on this one at all.
No.
Even though he's the one confessing. You meant to like him. You
I
don't.
mean, his housemate does sound like a bit of a punish.
Sure.
But I don't know if pissing in his coffee.
Probably not the great way to go.
well, however,
Yes.
if he's been doing it every day and his housemate hasn't noticed and is still drinking the coffee, then maybe he likes it.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm not suggesting, but you know what I
this is a
mean.
new blend.
Well,
43, this is 47.
Wouldn't you
What is
notice?
this is not.
What blend
what
is
are the
this?
ingredients? I'm gonna. Well, it worked for Bear Grylls. He drank
That's true.
That was his own.
Yeah.
It does have medicinal.
Yeah. I
Well,
don't know if other people piss
isn't
does,
there
or-
the I mean, I feel like we can be open here. Who pisses in the shower?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I do.
yes.
So you,
sure, yeah.
that's,
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
essentially going on your feet, which I think is a good, healthy thing. I've heard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
my feet are rocking.
Drinking, but drinking, it's a whole other story.
Yeah, especially someone else's as well. You don't know them. Well, you know them. They're your housemate, but you're pissing in a carafe of coffee with his own special lemonade. As he puts it.
It must be kind of energizing though, because when he gets home from work, he's still big on the yap.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
old housemate. So I get the feeling it's working for him.
Yo, bro, don't you talk enough at work?
Also, move out.
Yeah,
well,
that's a good option.
Like, find another place to live. But I've got to be honest. If you're going as hardcore as pissing in someone's coffee, then you've got a big issue. Like,
Yeah, sure.
You know,
It's bigger than this.
You need to live alone.
Yeah, for a bit.
It's tiny studio.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't be trusted with people. What does he do for a living? Did he say?
He says there's a security guard.
Oh, he's a security guard.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Humble
Sense, so to
security
speak.
guard.
Sorry, humble security
You
guard.
wouldn't want to get bailed up by him. He would probably piss on you.
He'd
Yeah.
probably piss on you easy. Yeah. Definitely do that.
Yeah, he needs to sort out his pissing
Yeah.
issues. And he needs to know that it's not okay to piss in people's coffee.
Canada-
Unless they ask for it.
Yeah, but they are. Well, we didn't put into picture here. He is a administrative counsellor. So is it okay? We don't know what it is. Is it okay if he pisses in his coffee?
But the other
We
thing I
don't know.
find weird is that if you could have something, if you're annoyed with your housemate on something, like, wouldn't you do something that's going to annoy them?
Yeah, that they know
You know,
about.
that they know about.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if he was now to go, I've been pissing in your coffee, that friendship, housemateship is
Yeah.
over.
Yeah,
it has to be.
Yeah.
Like, that's
You wouldn't continue to be friends with
Not
someone after
okay.
that. No.
like that's like, it's like someone pissing in your coffee. That's what it's like.
It's like that. It's generally like that.
There's no other.
Pretty safe to say.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't tell him either. You just got to move out.
Yeah.
Move
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Move
And
away.
get over your
Start
coffee
fresh.
pissing issues.
Yeah, go off the grid. Be by yourself for a bit.
Off the grid. Get it
Off
where you
the
can drink
grid.
your own piss.
Change your name.
Go bush. Change your name.
Go push.
Drink your own piss.
Yeah, it's fun. Enjoy yourself.
And then the administrative assistant might be, God, I really miss him. I don't know, I feel a bit flat since he left.
Yeah, the coffees taste different. And
Coffee's not the same.
Everything's changed. Yeah, well, I think we solved Lovely Nick's problem because we have one more confession that comes from Ben.
Remember the years ago at the Coogee Bay Tavern Hotel in Sydney?
Was that the shit flavoured
With the
ice
poo in
cream?
the ice cream?
Yeah.
Can you remember that one?
No.
Wes? So someone who works there had pooed in a tub of ice cream, like dug a hole out, pooed in it, and then covered it back up. And then someone else is serving up dessert to someone who's eating there.
Yeah.
And they've served
Oh,
up half a
God.
thing of poo. And they identified the fact that it was poo.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the Coogee Bay Hotel got in a little bit of trouble.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's an odd thing to do.
It wasn't great for its reputation.
No.
And I think
crisis
the-
management
I think
after
the
that.
dessert menu's thinned out a bit. Since not a lot of demand.
Yeah, so you got to be careful. And you know Sydney well because you're there every week.
I'm there every week stealing booze from King's
Every
Cross all the time.
The final confession comes from Ben. Ben writes, I was bullied in high school. Really bullied. I grew up in a small country town. Sorry if you didn't. We all did.
I
but-
did.
Yeah.
If he ends up being a baker
Yeah.
who smokes out the back and passions local married women,
Rod.
And was always the guy who got swirlies from the boys at school.
Swirlies.
I think
Is that like
swirlies.
a wet willy or something?
I thought a swirly was when they, and I've only seen it in films where they dunk someone in a toilet as they're flushing. I think it's that. That's what I
that's a
thought.
swirly.
It sounds.
Look, I could have done some research. Absolutely did not.
yeah.
But I imagine I
Head
think
in the
that's
toilet.
what head in the toilet.
Right,
That's what I think. So really bullied. There was one guy, Joe, who was the worst of them all. I had a lisp growing up, and so he used to call me shit tongue. It's not creative, but
Shit tongue.
shit tongue.
It sounds like a nickname a kid would give.
It does, yeah. I was just a bit dorky, and Joe would always tell me that he could beat me up anytime he wanted.
See, this should intersect with the coffee pissing story.
Yeah. This
Then
is
it would
perfect.
feel-
Yeah, it fit everything. Yeah.
It would feel
Yeah.
feel like a quid pro
Link.
quo. Yeah, that would feel.
No, he didn't take the bins out for a bit.
Yeah.
So I go back home very occasionally, and it's only really to see mum and dad, and nothing else. All the people worth knowing moved away, and now I have new, better friends in the city. That's nice.
Of course.
It worked out. Of course, that happens.
That's my story.
It's your story. It's my story. That happens.
That's my story.
It's your story. You did send this in to me before.
Yeah.
I was like, where's you got anything?
Yeah, no, it's like kind of listening, going,
This is me.
Yeah,
This is me.
yeah.
Where do you think a confession like this could be going? Do you have any idea?
I kind of, part of me wants it to go down a revenge path. But then, do I really want it to go? At the moment, I can't. But I'm thinking revenge at the moment.
Yeah.
So he's going to bump
Big revenge guy, Lehmo.
He's going to
Big
bump into
revenge
one of
guy.
his,
Yeah.
He's going to bump into one of his bullies.
Yeah.
And he's going to do something, and then he's going to get the guilt.
Yeah.
About
That's exactly what happens.
getting back at the bully.
Yeah. That's exactly what happens. Wes, do you still want to guess?
No. I think that's a good one.
no.
Yes.
I think he's going to piss
I
in his
do.
mum's coffee,
Yeah.
or passing a local baker,
Or shitting in the kitchen. I don't know.
Something fun.
stealing food off a table at the pub.
I love that too. So this is the friends in the city loves it too. I live a happy life, but the other day I was back home and I saw Joe get out of the car at the local pub. So Joe's the big bully, the one who did the
This is
swirlies, the
swirly
swirly guy.
Yeah, right.
He walked inside. I was picking up some local Chinese to take back to mum and dad. It's a detail that isn't needed, but I love it.
Oh, it makes it's so small country town. I love it.
Yeah.
And also, I want to go and get some Chinese. Now.
I love a local Australian Chinese restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah. We have a Chinese takeaway in Loxton where they have a Bain Marie. And my mum...
Where's eyes just lit up
Yeah.
again?
I was home with my wife, who's from the Gold Coast, and mum said, well, there's a local Chinese place. We should get some takeaway from there. It's just, it's really... And my mum gave it like a 5-star pump up. So we were both really excited. And, it was fine.
It was fine.
It was not a 5-star.
Yeah.
No, a lot of MSG.
It was not a 5-star arrangement, I can tell you that.
I loved. Can I just? I had Chinese on the weekend actually. I always spill fried rice onto the butcher's paper / white tablecloth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
you
that a
dined in?
thing? Like, am I the only person that does
No, I
that?
do. I always do it. I always
I always leave, and there's like this big mass of fried rice on.
Mine's usually a
the
puddle of
tablecloth.
lemon chicken juice
chicken
as well.
You mean after you've eaten? There's always
Yeah, I just
around
can't
the-
seem to keep it on the spoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Like, I don't know, or the chopsticks. I don't know. It's like the kind of. It's obviously not a thing. I was expecting you
'cause you're
both to
too
go,
excited?
yes, and then
Yeah,
we'd move
no.
on.
I
But you're
was-
kind of overthinking it too much, so
I don't
let's
think it's
move
a thing.
on.
See,
Some
for me,
observational humour for everybody.
My equivalent would be if you'd said, "My God, every time I have popcorn at the cinema and I leave, I'm surrounded by." See, popcorn's like an outline of my body.
Yeah,
When I
yeah,
get
yeah,
up out of
yeah.
the chair.
You know where
It's
Lehmo
everywhere.
was.
Yeah, no, totally. And it's actually embarrassing. Sometimes I've gone back to kick some under the chair. I'm so embarrassed by how much has fallen on the ground.
So he sees Joe walk inside. I was picking up some local Chinese to take back to mum and dad. Didn't need to read it again, but I wanted to. But then I saw Joe and something came over me. What would you do in that situation for revenge? What
Okay,
would you do?
I don't feel like he's going to confront Joe in
No.
the pub where Joe is, I imagine, is a regular.
Yeah.
and would have a lot of friends there, etc.
And there's a
So I
toilet.
think he's going to
Okay,
do something
swirlies.
to the car.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing the easiest thing is maybe a flat tire,
Yeah.
a nail under a tire, or
Scratch
something.
and coin.
Or
Scratch and-
scratch
yeah.
it, yeah.
Scratch
Can I do we know his current age when he's
No, we
running into
don't,
Joe
no.
at the bar? Because that makes a difference. Like, you know what I
52.
mean? If it's like if he's just out of if he's like,
I think he might be quite
1 or
young.
2
I'm
years out
assuming
of
he's
high
quite
school. It
young.
sounds like it.
Yeah.
If he's still 1 or 2 years out of high school, that's still
Yeah. The hurt's still
connected.
there.
The hurt's way still there.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if I was going back now and I saw my bully from high school, I don't think I'd probably buy him a drink. I'd be like,
Yeah.
thank you for my career.
Yeah.
Great.
Always thanking people for your career when you go home. I thought now was my chance to get back at him. So I did. I let down his tyres. I thought it was the best thing to do. Just let down his tyres and walk away. But then something else came over me. I wanted to shit in his car too.
Oh god.
What?
There are some themes going on this particular
I
episode.
just wanted to shit in his.
It's a big shit pod. Wanted to shit in his...
Okay.
I don't know why.
I'm gonna see. Just that alone makes me think this is not long after.
Yeah.
after
Yeah,
high
I think
school.
this is...
Yeah.
I get the feeling
If
they're
you're that
about-
angry.
they're 18, 19.
Yeah. If this is 20 years on, I don't think this is happening.
I
He wants to
don't
shit
think
in
a
his car.
40-year-old's going.
Nah, I'm going to shit in his car.
I'm gonna shit in his car.
Although I have known some people. Anyway.
I shit on the ground, picked it up with a leaf, and shoved it in his exhaust
Well,
pipe.
that must have been a small poo.
Must-
or a
yeah.
big leaf.
Or a big leaf. We don't know. Big leaf, small poo. Honestly, I'm a civilized person.
No,
No,
you're not.
No, you're not.
What a great follow-up. I shat on the ground and picked it up with a leaf. I'm a civilized person.
Needless to say, I'm a civilized person with a good job, but for some reason, I became so animalistic in that moment. After the adrenaline wore off, I was feeling so pleased with myself. But the next day, immediate guilt.
The next day.
The next day.
Sorry,
Immediate next day.
Did I vague out for a sec? How did he get the poo in the car?
He didn't get in the car, he put it in the exhaust pipe.
I put it in the exhaust
Yeah,
pipe, right?
yeah. That was a good detail.
In
But
the exhaust pipe. So what would that do?
I think you just clog it up, wouldn't it? I guess.
Would you just,
Yeah.
anyway.
We
I
don't
know.
We don't know.
Not
But it
really.
might have still been
Because this is the issue that I'm already having with not issue, but with many, by the way. But it's the fact that I think he's actually, it's worse. He's the one that had to deal with the poo.
Yeah.
Himself.
Yeah.
Like that's actually
That's
more
worse than
like
that.
I would rather. I don't want to like pick up my own poo. Like, do you know what I mean? It's
not for you.
Like, and then put it in an exhaust pipe that they're not going to know that it was him. So
no,
again,
no.
They're never going to know.
And you want to do, if you're going to pick up your own poo, you want to do something really worthwhile with it.
yes,
I mean,
Go the
like,
extra mile
what
with
a
it.
waste.
Yeah,
right.
what a waste.
Your name on the window of the car.
Something fun.
If you, right, fuck you in poo on his windscreen.
Yeah.
Then I go, all right, that's
Sure.
Got it.
Fair
I mean,
enough.
You got shit
Got
all
it.
over your hands,
Yeah.
but at least you've left a message.
Yeah. And clear message. There's no mucking about with that.
I can then imagine. Then I'd love to see him walk into the pub with shit all over his hands and go, "Can I just use the toilet, please?" He holds his hands. Had a bit of an accident outside.
Yeah, no bullying would come from that either.
yeah.
He's real. Because that guy's civilized. After the adrenaline wore off, I was feeling so pleased with myself, but the next day, immediate guilt. When I drove into town today, I saw Joe's truck still there, and I do wonder, before I leave, if I should go and talk to him. Or next time I'm here. Clear the air once and for all. This is how he ends the confession, which is brilliant. I'll never shit in an exhaust again. I think that's a great lesson to be learned, and I think we all learned something from that.
I don't think we need to give him any counselling at all.
Yeah.
No further questions.
He's learned his lesson.
He's learned, yeah.
Should
So what-
He,
yeah, what do you
should
think
he
he should do?
clear the air with this guy?
Can you clear the air with someone after that and say, I shit in your exhaust pipe. I'll let your ties down for giving me swirlies at school. I wanted to get back at you, but now I feel awful about it. He's a civilized guy.
I wouldn't be fessing up to letting the tyres down.
No. Yeah.
Or putting the shit in the exhaust pipe. I just feel like that's not going to progress.
Yeah.
What are
Not
we
good for your
talking
brain.
about?
is it?
Relationship
Yeah.
between the two of them.
Yeah, it doesn't. I still don't understand the shit in the exhaust pipe thing. I've got to be
Yeah.
honest. I
Yeah.
don't really understand what that's achieving.
Yeah.
Unless
I think he
that
told it
blows-
was better in his head
Yeah, right.
than it was when he actually
I'm not
did it.
really a car guy. Maybe that stops your car from starting if it's fully blocked.
Maybe. There's a blockage. Who knows?
I just said. Yeah, who does know?
I'm an expert that comes in just to discuss this point.
Oh, we've got a shit exhaust pipe expert on.
I don't think. I mean, I'm not a big. I just feel like that kind of revenge doesn't really make you feel. I don't know. I
What
don't.
does it add? It doesn't really add
Because
anything.
Joe doesn't know
No.
that this is the guy that did it.
No, he
so
just
if
comes
he
out,
was
his
going to
ties are
fess
let
up
down.
to him, that'd be
Yeah.
more to actually be to
Oh, no.
so that he can be like, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's,
Exactly like that.
It's more that. Which may be the reason why he was bullied if he does talk like that.
Yeah, so maybe just go and talk to him, you think, Wes, and clear the air once and for all?
Clear the exhaust pipe.
Clear the exhaust pipe out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be fessing up. No. And what has it? I guess maybe it's made him. Well, it hasn't made him feel better. He feels guilty
Yeah.
Yeah.
now, so it's got him nowhere.
But he would never shit in an exhaust pipe
If
again.
he was
He's
going to
learnt that.
fess up, I wouldn't bring up the tyres or
Yeah.
the shitty exhaust pipe.
Yeah.
If
You just let that
if
go.
he feels like burying the hatchet on that relationship or sorting that relationship,
Yeah.
then he should just go and do that.
Yeah, maybe do it and then when
And
you're
he can have a
leaving-
crack at that. And if it doesn't work, well, he tried, and that hopefully that deals with his,
Yeah.
you know, how he's feeling.
Yeah.
When you're
Yeah.
leaving, go,
And if it
and how's
doesn't-
your exhaust pipe?
Next time, smear the shit on his windscreen and make it
Like a
worthwhile.
normal person.
A normal person.
Like a normal person.
I mean, what an idiot!
Would you do that as well, Wes? Do you think that's a good idea?
Would I shit?
No.
On
would you
someone
Would you go
that's
and clear the
exhaust
air
pipe.
with him and not bring up the car?
I would. I just wouldn't have done it in the first place. So it's a really hard question, Sam.
Yeah, no, it's not. This is the conversation hour with Richard Feidler. What would you do?
I just wouldn't. I would just let it. I would take on the guilt. No, I wouldn't go and own up. I'd just be like, it's happened now,
Yeah.
and it didn't make me feel better, so I'm not going to do anything like that again.
Yeah. That's fair. I think he did learn a lesson in the end. He'll never shit in an exhaust pipe again.
Yeah.
You know, it's a
good
valuable
to know.
lesson to learn.
Or let tyres down.
Yeah.
on a-
We didn't say that. He did not specify that he wasn't going to do that again. It was just the exhaust pipe.
I'm just more interested in the Chinese.
Yeah, what did he
Like,
have?
What did you
Had
have?
a chicken.
What
maybe
did you
a
take
black
home
bean
after you
sauce.
shat?
Oh, yeah, to your parents.
This is a good point. So he's shoveled shit into the exhaust pipe
And then taken Chinese.
carried Chinese home to mum and dad.
So that's bullying his parents.
That to
Yeah.
me is a far bigger crime.
Yeah, maybe let's talk about that. Maybe you need to sit down with your parents and say, sorry about the prawn crackers, I wouldn't touch them.
Stop carrying takeaway home with your shit hands.
Yeah, that's a good lesson to learn for everybody. Everybody involved.
No one's a winner there.
At the end of that, we've had 4 wonderful confessions from 4 wonderful people. If you had to cast one of these as a major motion picture, which one would you want to cast and who would you want to have in the role? You've got Ben, who of course learnt from shitting in an exhaust pipe and letting down his bully's tyres.
Yeah.
You've got Nick, who of course pissed in his administrative counsellor roommate's coffee
Yes.
every morning. You've got Joseph, who eats things off plates. I'm sure that'll be a fascinating film. And you've got Cheryl, who's a married woman but kissed the local baker.
To me, I feel Wes like it's one of the first 2
Yes.
stories. It's
Yep.
either the baker or the food theft. And I think if it's the baker, it's a romance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's the food theft, I would like to do that as a comedy, I think.
But exactly, and when you were saying earlier about
Not a
doing
heavy
that,
thriller.
there needs to be reviewing the food
Yeah,
of the thing.
yeah.
There's a lot more in that. It's a bit more exciting than
Yeah.
local baker has affair with.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So if we do, so who would we cast as the food alcohol
The guy.
thiever? As
Yeah.
the dude.
Yeah.
it's
who
a
would you want?
comedy.
I feel like he'd sort of try and pitch it as a.
I think you'd have to. I think it's
I feel
a hard
like it could
sell.
be funny as a comedy. To
Yeah.
have a guy who's got this thing where he steals
Yeah. Just steals food.
food and booze and reviews it as well.
Yeah. He's got a blog at home. He goes
Yeah.
home and writes
And perhaps
a blog.
the reviewing of it is the thing that finally brings him undone because
Yeah.
someone's able to. He gives a bad review,
Yeah.
and then someone tracks him down,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they find him stealing food somewhere.
I feel like Dan Wiley, but there's a
Okay.
reason. Do
Yeah.
you know Dan Wiley?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a reason. It's because there's this great episode in the show Love My Way.
Yeah.
And his wife in the show is Asha Ketty, where she fesses up to stealing things. So my head went.
Would love to have Asha
and she
Ketty.
doesn't
Right.
need. She can afford. It was as a little addiction. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
For some reason, my head then went to Dan Wiley.
Yeah. Well, can we get Asha Ketty? As the
Well,
partner
she's.
of
I think
Dan
she
Wiley?
lives up near Carlton.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah, I could,
there we
could
go.
get on the hornblower.
Asha
So
Ketty
Dan
would be
Wiley.
great. Dan Wiley and Asha Ketty.
Asha Ketty as the partner.
And then we would need someone to play the aggrieved pub owner who chases him down after the bad
yeah.
review.
Yeah. Who do you think could do that? Do we want
Jack Thompson.
Jack Thompson? Jack Thompson would be good. What a role for him to play as well.
I always go to Jack Thompson. He's so good.
Something he'd really sink his teeth into.
Yes.
Let's go Jack Thompson.
Jack Thompson.
aggrieved pub owner. And then we'd probably need a couple of best friends as well.
Yeah. So the smaller
in
roles. Who would you
in
want?
the mix there.
Would you
Do we
want
know?
some
Do we
comedy-
know his job? Was he? Now I'm
No,
getting
we don't know
confused.
his
He's
job.
not the administrative.
No, he's not. No, not that role.
So your friends, they'd be, they kind of, I think we agreed they know what's happening and they're just kind of turning a blind eye.
Yeah. Would you want
it.
to cast some comedians in the roles? Do you think?
Yes,
it
but
could
I
be a
think
comedy.
I think they are people who have money because I think it's good to note that it's not about that he can't afford it.
No, we need
want
to make
set that up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not a financial thing.
No, it's just because he likes it.
Yeah.
So maybe they're accountants. Lehmo. I reckon
Accountants.
accountants.
They could be accountants, yeah. Who would,
What comedians could play an accountant?
well,
Can we get Lehmo involved? That's what I'm asking.
I
Can we get Lehmo? Can we get Dilruk Jayasinger involved? Dilruk
me
Jayasinger.
and Dill.
You and Dill are the two mates.
Accountants.
That'd be quite nice, wouldn't it? Would you want?
yeah.
Do you think you would accept the role? I mean, you'd still have to audition.
I think the mates would have partners as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
This is
it wouldn't
getting
be
quite a big
be
cast.
Dan Wiley, Asha Ketty, and then a couple of mates.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like
Just
it
two
would be.
hangers on.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like it would be.
Yeah.
So then
Like-
you would have like a Celia Piccola.
Yeah.
Type a Celia Piccola.
Type?
Celia Piccola type.
We're not sure if we can get her, but
So
let's
maybe
try.
if you had Celia and Geraldine Hickey, say.
There you go. Yep.
Oh, throw in Kate McLennan, please.
And
Yeah,
Kate
Kate McLennan.
McLennan.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's quite a good cast.
So that's the group of friends.
Yeah.
there, and Jack Thompson is the one that brings him undone.
What do you want to call it if it's an elevator pitch? And
Who else works in the pub? Jack Thompson. I
Jack
just
Thompson.
want to keep casting.
Oh, yeah,
if
yeah.
That's all right.
Noni
I love it.
Hazelhurst.
So
Behind the bar?
Jack Thompson would have a business partner. So either his partner or,
Or someone who kind of manages as well.
Yeah.
So he owns it.
and
he's
it might
around,
be,
but-
and that's the type of person who keeps saying, Jack, leave it alone. It's not worth it. And he's like, no, I'm going to make this bastard pay.
Great. So he becomes obsessed with it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
his character becomes obsessed with
Yeah.
bringing down this mystery scrap.
Oh, I want to play.
that.
Can I play that role?
Yeah, okay.
Great. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Great. So
Cast.
you're Jack Thompson's business partner.
yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, he's hired me because I'm very I'm very good with the people and
yeah.
the maitre d'.
And
Like
Jack's
I swan
a bit
about.
bitter and twisted
And
and,
you're-
jaded by the industry.
Yeah, you're trying to talk him off the cliff, saying, Jack, it's not worth it.
Yeah. Let it go.
Let
it
it
go, Jack.
Oh, come on, Jack. Let it go.
It doesn't matter.
So what would you want to call it if you had an elevator pitch? You had to actually call it something. What is the working title at the moment? What could you call it? Something about scraps? Would you
Scrap. I'm trying to think of like what a scrap reference
Pla-
scrap yard?
Scrappy do.
Scrappy do. Scrappy
Scrappy
do.
do.
Scrap.
Set in Humpty Do.
Scraping.
Yep.
Scrap in the barrel.
Scrap in
Scrap
the
in the
barrel.
barrel.
Scrape in the barrel.
Scrap in the barrel's got a very Aussie lilt to it as well. Scrap in the barrel
Scrap in
Yeah.
the barrel.
with Jack Thompson.
Half glass empty.
Half glass full.
Half glass full.
Plate half full.
Plate half full.
Plate half full. That's good.
Plate half full.
Plate half. I mean, it's a working title. It doesn't have to be locked in now.
No, we have to lock it in now, Sam. I won't be able to sleep. I'll have to go
We
and
can lock
piss
it
in
in
someone's
right now.
coffee.
Yeah.
Half
Let's go
plate.
plate half full at the moment. Let's lock it in.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an absolute hit. Wes Snelling, have you got anything coming up? Or how do people find you if they want to
No,
look you
don't
up?
embarrass me.
Okay.
I have what do we have coming on? Oh, just lots of things.
Lots of things. Tina
Lots
Del
of things
Twist.
depending on when is this going to air? Are we
Soon.
live?
We're live. This is out right now. Where do you have any shows coming up? Are there any Tina
I
Del
do.
Twist
Tina's
shows?
doing stuff all around different gigs here and there, and I'm working with Aboriginal Comedy All Stars on
Yeah.
some. We're about to do a tour in the second half. I'm not in the show.
No.
Just to clarify.
Just to clarify. How do people find you though? How do people find Wes Snelling?
I'm not giving my address out.
Okay, that's fair.
Sam.
That's fair.
No,
I always
I'll-
ask.
Instagram, Wes Snelling.
Wes Snelling. And Lehmo, how do people find you?
Instagram Lehmo15 or Twitter Lehmo23.
And your new podcast as well. It's not a new
A podcast.
podcast.
Yeah,
but-
They Came to Play, which
Yeah.
is a footy comedy podcast
Oh, fantastic.
with Danny McGinley and Tess Armstrong.
Oh, fantastic.
Good
well,
fun.
Lehmo, thank you so much for joining
Thank
me on the
you,
podcast.
Sam.
Thank you, Wes Snelling.
Thanks, Al.